Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to my channel, Georgia Girl, here, Woman Wellness and More. And I'm your host, Georgia Girl. And today is Wellness Wednesday. Today I'll be sharing another episode of Women's Health, May's Women Health Awareness Month. And I have been sharing different information about women's health. I have did some shorts and I did a couple of lives. So today I want to talk about mental health. A lot of us don't know the difference between mental health and mental illness. So today I'll be sharing some information about it, and it's for educational entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor, nurse. I'm not here to diagnose anyone. I'm just only putting out commentary. But I hope everybody's having a beautiful Wednesday. If you're coming in my chat, I do welcome you. Beautiful Wednesday. My night bot went on strike, so if you come in, if you see somebody you want to connect with, if you're a moderator, you can connect in that way. Other than that, but today turned out to be a pretty good day. The weather is nice outside, and summer is here. Summer is coming. It's here. You see the bumblebees, the wasps. I got stung today by a wasp, so I got my hand on some ice over here. I was trying to make sure it didn't hit me in my eye or in my face, so I got a little swelling, but I'm okay. But yes, we're gonna see all types of things now: mosquitoes, bumblebees, wasps. We're gonna see them all this time of year. But I was chilling my face because I have got stung before with a bee with my eye before, and I didn't want that to happen today. But so I'm going to get into my commentary. I'm talking about women health. The next month is men health, so I'll be sharing some information for the guys. You know, over here I talk about it a little bit all. I just don't talk about women's health and do things with women. I also share things about our guys. Try to encourage our guys to keep going to the doctor also. So that is what my awareness about, just sharing information and encouraging others to make sure you go to the doctor and stuff like that. I had said if my hand don't go down, I'll be going to the doctor. But I've been putting ice on it, so the ice has been helping it. But one thing about me, you know, I can doctor on stuff for so long, but once it get where I have to go to the doctor, I'm gonna go. Cause early detections on whatever you got going on will save lives. I do want to shout out my members. Shout out to the ones that are connected with me through channel membership. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for joining and rejoining. So I'm fixing to get into my commentary. Like I said, I've been sharing about women's health. You can catch some of my videos on the replay. So I'm going to get into a commentary. I know a lot of YouTube creators probably talking about the P. Diddy case and different stuff like that. I might eventually talk about it. It's a lot. It's a lot of domestic violence in there. I know that. But this is what I'll be sharing about today. I will have it where you can see the stream. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Whoever's the one person that is in the bushy, thank you. But today we're talking about women's health, and May is also mental health month. So we're going to get into about what is mental health first of all. A lot of people don't know the difference between mental health and mental illness. And that is the difference. Like I said, this is only for commentary, not here to diagnose anyone. But we all have mental health. Mental health and mental illness is totally different. And I will read to you the difference between mental health and mental illness. That is the difference. Our mental health does matter. Don't let nobody fool you and say it don't. When we come down our mental health, we're dealing with our emotions and different things like that. So I'm gonna get into some information and some tips and things like that. If you're coming in the chat, I do welcome you. If you're watching from the bushes, I also welcome you. Come in the chat, I won't bite. But getting into my commentary, we're going to learn the difference between mental health and mental illness. And I have shared this every month, every year. I share information about different awareness. Hey, Miss Key, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm talking about mental health does matters. We all have mental health. Are you watching the ads? Thank you. Thank you very much. Girl, you know, I told you I had got stung by that wasps. My hand's still a little swollen, so I've been putting some ice on it, but it got my hands so sore. Um, I said if it don't get better by in the morning, you know I'm going to the doctor. You know I go to the doctor. So I've been putting ice on it, and my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law gave me some tobacco, but I wasn't finna chew it. You know, back in the day, when you get stung by a bee or wasps, they always said put tobacco spit on it. I wasn't gonna put that in my mouth. I never was able to chew that. My Nightbot's still not working, so I'm just gonna leave it alone for a while. I'm gonna have to reprogram it all back over probably whenever I have the time. Thank you for watching my ads. They're on there, huh? So getting into my commentary, I'm gonna ask you a question, Miss Key. Do your mental health matters to you? That is the question. Do your mental health matter? Do your mental health matter to you? In today's commentary, we're talking about mental health and versus mental illness. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between them both. So mental health is often mistakenly equated with the absence of mental illness. However, mental health refers to a person's overall emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It influences how individuals think, feel, and behave, and how they cope with stress related to others and make choices. So that's what mental health is. And a lot of people get it mixed up with mental illness. Yes, most definitely. Without your mental health, you would Yep. You got to protect it at all costs. There's so much going on out in the world now, and you easily to your mind get easily to be polluted with negativity if you let it. So today I want to tell you the difference between mental health and mental illness. Mental health is a state of well-being in which the person realizes his or her own abilities and cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to his or her community. Indicators of good mental health: releases stress, empathy, flexibility, spirituality, optimism, stable relationship, productive behavior, respect for self and others, self-confidence, sense of belonging, ability to take care of self and others, clear thinking, sense of well-being, and contentment. Now that is your mental health. Everybody deal with mental health because everybody have emotions. It's just everybody probably stress. I'm sure everybody do have a little stress here and there because ain't nobody perfect. You make mistakes, and everybody have self-confidence. At least you should. And what is mental illness? Mental illness is defined as a health condition that affects a person's thinking, feeling, behavior, or mood. Such conditions may affect someone's ability to relate to others and function every day. Indicators of mental illness: pulling away from people and unusual activities, feeling numb or like nothing matters, feeling helpless or hopeless, experiencing severe mood swing, thinking of harming yourself or others, inability to perform daily tasks. Now that's what they define mental illness to be like. You want to give up, you want to hurt yourself, um, just feel so helpless about yourself, not thinking rationally, just doing things like how they be saying how some of those people be going out there shooting up those schools. Do you think a lot of those people do be having mental illnesses, or is just something they're just doing it just for attention? See, they need to, like they said, they need to start giving old people background checks and finding out what all they've been doing in their past. And mental illness is somebody that feel like they're not worthy. They feel like they're helpless. They think that they have different types of mood swings, thinking of harming themselves and others. And then you feel well, you can't just can't go on. That's mental illness. When you feeling so bad, where you feel like you're not appreciated. What you said, Mickey? Impulsive, impulsive behavior. Yeah. You act out, you do different stuff. Sometimes do stuff without thinking. Just doing things. So Nightbot still ain't working, is it? Did you try typing troopers? I don't think it's working though. I don't see nothing. Cause you would be dropped something by now. I guess me and you gonna have to I'm gonna have to get you to go with me. Go with me and do it step by step again, I guess, just to see what's going on. But remember, there is a difference between mental health and mental illness. And a lot of people don't know the difference. So I just shared with you the difference of mental health and mental illness. Everybody have mental health. Everybody go through mental health. No, it ain't doing that. Productive behavior, respect for yourself and others, self-confidence, ability to take care of yourself and others, clear thinking. And I be want my mental state to be good. I don't need nothing clouding my brain. When I mean by that, If it ain't positive, if it ain't something to help me, I don't want to deal with it. Because I don't need nothing bringing me down. I don't need nothing stressing me out. I visit different channels. I support who support me. I make sure I try to let my members know that, shout out to my members again. I try to let my members know that I'm there, whether I be on there when you start up, but just let you know that I will be watching the replay. I try not to get in a position or be in an area or be on a channel that I know is affecting my mental state. If I don't want to be going to those different types of channels, I don't go. Hey, Sessa, how you doing? Good to see you. We're talking about mental health, and our mental health is very important. Do you think your mental health, that is the question I'm asking today. Do your mental health matters? Do your mental health matters? And I was just reading the difference between mental health and mental illness. A lot of people don't know the difference between mental health and mental illness. Mental health, everybody deal with mental health. You just got to make sure your mental health is good. If you know there's something going on, you can talk to somebody about what's going on. Sometimes when you hold stuff in, eventually it'll either eat away at you, it'll have you so stressed where it'll eventually gonna have to come out. So our mental health is very important. So I'm just sharing information and awareness because this month is Women Health Month. And I was just sharing some things about mental health because I have to protect mine. I don't want all that cloud in my brain. You know what I'm saying? No. And this is what I'm talking about today, about the impact of how things affect your mental health. How's your day going, Sassy? You been having a good day? Today is Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday, and I'm just sharing some things about, and it is for educational, entertainment purposes only. Not that one. I got a couple things I want to read. Right here is saying what affects women mental health. Next month is men health awareness, so I will be sharing things about the guys. So right here they said, gotta do something right quick. I'm still here. I just got it on. I'm just off camera for a minute, but I'm still here. Can y'all hear me like that? I've got to do something right there. They said, what affect women's mental health? Around 1 in 5 women have common mental health problems. Okay? 1 in 5 women have a common mental health problem. Such as, we're talking about mental health, not mental illness. We're talking about mental health because everybody has mental health. You can easily go into depression. There's around 1 in 5 women have common mental health problems such as depression, anxiety. While there can be many reasons why they develop, some risk factors affect men and women. Women are most likely than men. They're saying women are most likely to be affected by anxiety and depression. I know because I do have anxiety disorder. Okay, so what you say, Sassy? We can only allow who we want in our lives to keep our peace. Absolutely. You don't have to have all that, toxic going on. You can have the power. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody have that power over you. You have your own power. I see how these domestic violence cases are because they let others take over their power. They let others take over their life. Just moving around a little bit. I was just reading some stuff about the P. Diddy case. He really had power over her. I mean, when somebody else have to think for you, when somebody else have to tell you how to dress, what to eat, they just control y'all. They're just straight control. If somebody tell you that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't that, and you're a grown woman. I know a lot of us women, we go through these things because we need stability, we need financial help and all that kind of stuff. But still, you don't have to take all that. You gotta be strong. But I can understand if a person stays with someone that take them through all this, until you can find a way and say, I'd have had enough. But you as that person gonna have to say, I can't deal with this no more. So I'm just reading right here. They're saying mostly women end up with depression and anxiety. While there can be many reasons why these develop, some risk factors affect men and women. Women are more likely than men to be carers, which can lead to stress, anxiety, and isolation. CARES UK has information on looking after your mental health. To live in poverty, which along with concerns about personal safety and working mainly in the home, can lead to social isolation. To experience physical and, like I was saying, to experience physical and sexual abuse, which can have long-term impact on your mental health. When I went through, when my cousin did that to me, it took, even though I was a child, but mentally I still wasn't, I felt like, even though I was 8 years old, I knew that he took something from me. And my mind, as a little child, my mind was going all over the place. I'm just, you know, as 8 years old, you don't know a lot about sex, but I'm sure you probably seen some on TV, somebody kissing, whatever, whatever. But what I'm saying is, I know what he took from me, and I knew what he did was wrong. You see what I'm saying? He raped me, and it affected me. I mean, I can remember when all that happened. I still remember today what he did to me. And I remember when my mama took me to the hospital, and I remember going back to school. I felt like was it something I did? When you go through some type of rape or abuse, you be wondering, is it something you did? And it don't even have to be something you did. It's just the sickness of the person that does that to you. And cause he was like in his close to his 30s. I would say he probably about 27, 28, and I was 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? He took my innocence. And that stayed with me, and it's still with me today. And I'm 56 years old. I use what I went through to try to educate and try to help others that have been molested or raped by their relatives. Because a lot of people can't speak on it. Yeah, it will. Yes. And I thank God that Lord is my Savior. I thank God at an early age, I didn't know all about how the impact it was going to have on me as I got older, but it did. I explained it I told my kids when they came, I told them about what I went through, and I told them I fear. All while my kids were little, y'all, I was so in much, I was just in so much fear. I was scared to let them go stay with people because of what I went through. and it was messing with my mental health. You see what I'm saying? And right now today, even though my children are grown, they'll tell anybody, my mom didn't let her holler go nowhere. And they had to understand why. And I just shared this before. I had my reason because I was in fear because of how things what had happened to me. And I would pray daily that I didn't want that to happen to neither one of my kids or my grandkids. I'm that way by my grandkids. My daughter used to be saying, Mama, you can loosen up a little bit now. You can. I'm like, I can't because it's in me. It's in me. I don't be like this. I mean, I used to be real bad when my granddaughter was real young, the oldest one. When she would get to the age where she wanted to hang out, I'd be like, My daughter like, Mom. But if you done been through that type of traumatization, it happens. And you want to protect your children. You want to protect your children from things like that. Yeah, it is. It was nothing you did. You were young. Yes, that's right. But that's what a lot of like people being abused and people that go through things like that, they feel like it's something they did. But I know I couldn't have did that because I was 8 years old. Understand that can affect you. Well, yes. And I often used to say when I was coming up, I said, I don't think I'm going to date nobody. I said, I don't think I want to be with nobody. That's just how I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? I was feeling like that because I was in fear. I was in fear. I'm thinking it was going to happen again. My mom didn't let me go stay with nobody else. And that's why a lot of people don't like having their children stand at people's houses. That's why I had to let my daughter understand why I didn't just let her go spend the night with people. She always like, Mom, we're having a sleepover. Can I go? I said, She'll tell you. If my daughter come to my chat now, she'll tell you. My mom didn't let me go nowhere. She didn't let me stay with nobody because I was afraid, y'all. But I know people are still doing that now. They still messing with their relatives and messing with people's children. They still doing that. So I have a trust issue when it comes down to stuff like that. And sometimes when I be watching like movies, like when somebody get raped or somebody been through stuff like that, it triggers me. It really do. It triggers me mentally. And I know I done had it have affected me for years up until my adulthood. But I'm strong now. I can talk about it. I know I didn't do nothing wrong, but it's messing with your mental health. You know what I'm saying? It does. When you've been abused or raped or anything like that, it stays with you. You can move on. You can start your life over. Like I told my husband, my boyfriend, when I at 17, I can probably count the boyfriends I had as a young age because I was afraid. I was afraid. And all the while I was in my younger years, like coming up to my teenage years, I think at 14, a boy liked me, but it's just like I was afraid. And I was like that for a while. Then as I got older, a little bit older, I met my husband. I met my husband when I was 17. So it ain't like I had a whole lot of partners. I had a few, but at a young age, I didn't know what I was doing. I could just say, yeah, that was my first boyfriend, or he was somebody I talked to, but I wasn't like that. I wasn't brought up that way, and I wasn't, some people already had 2 and 3 boyfriends at 17. And what age did y'all start? If y'all still in the chat, what age did y'all say y'all had y'all first boyfriend? If y'all can remember. When it's family member, someone you thought you could have. Yes, absolutely. And those, I hate to say it, those be the worst ones, Sassy. Do y'all remember when y'all had y'all first boyfriend? Do y'all remember when y'all first started dating? Uh, you know what? Because let me see. You know what? Because you didn't get a chance to give it to somebody. It was, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just like when I was able to be that way with somebody, it just wasn't special. I mean, it was my innocent. And, I explained to my husband at the time, I talked to a couple of guys before him, but my husband's the one that I was real, real serious with. He was the first one I could say, actually, I bet, was with, you know what I'm saying? All the other guy was just somebody you just be like at the basketball game, kiss here and there, but it wasn't nothing so serious. And so I had to tell my mom was strict. Your mom was strict. So I had to tell my boyfriend, my husband at the time, how he never rushed me. He never tried to, you know, keep at me about being in that way with him. Because I explained it to him about what I had went through. It just, I had trust issues. I really did. 17. Okay. That's actually what I started too. I had like this little boy, he was a little boy like I was a little girl. Me and her got to fight. I think I was in probably about the 7th grade. And that boy hit me in my eye. I think I was about 14. And they talking about that boy was like you. I said, no, me and her got to fight, y'all. I was kind of like a little tomboyish, like, because I growed up around 5 brothers. And he had did something to me and me, I got to fight. And then as I got older, we ended up liking each other. We ended up liking each other, y'all. They talk about that why y'all were fighting that y'all. We were kids, but as we got older, I think I was like 15, 16. We ended up liking each other. I'm like, boy, you hit me in my eye. I couldn't even go to school, y'all. I remember my mama had got something out the freezer and she put on my eye. And she told you better go back riding where that boy was. But yeah, my mama, I wasn't out there like that either, y'all. I wasn't out there like that either. But these days, kids, they are so mature. They know more about sex than we do when we was at our age. They call them the love. I can't. But yeah, but have y'all had, I don't know if y'all want to share it, but have either one of y'all had a trauma, like something traumatized y'all in a way where it's still with you today? Have one of y'all been through anything like that? But I have gotten better, but you know, let me tell you, when I was pregnant with my daughter, right? I could never have my kids. I could never have my daughter or my son. And I used to think in my mind, did he mess me up? Even though they examined me and they saw where he had entered me, and because I'm 8 years old. You know what 8-year-old little body is, right? And I said I could never go in labor. I mean, they would kept telling me the way my body was built. And then my daughter, she was positioned wrong. So they had to end up giving me C-section. I had 2 C-sections. But sometimes I used to think, I'm like, did he mess me up where I can't have a kid? Because some people do get messed up like that. I just thank God that I didn't get that way. It was physically and it was a lot mentally messed me up. Because I wouldn't think someone that my cousin would do that. But these days, y'all, I don't trust nobody. I'm just being honest. And I try not to be that way. I think I done got a little bit better, but I still have my trust issues. But it's hard if you've been through something in that way. It builds up anxiety. It builds up depression. But like I said, my anxiety, they diagnosed me with anxiety and depression. I take medication for anxiety, but I have came a long way with it. Now I try not to let stuff bother me. I just deal with it. I pray about it. I stay calm because I'm easy to get agitated. I'm easy to get agitated, and sometimes it just when I get like that, I just don't want to be bothered. I just want to just be left alone, breathe, deal with it in my own way. I get over if I get too overwhelmed or something like that. That's why my kids don't like to tell me nothing like upsetting. Like if something happen, they're like, we can't tell mama. No, you know how she is. And I be telling them, I'm okay. I can handle it. I can handle it because they have seen me having panic attacks and stuff like that. And just because I have that don't mean I have a mental illness. That is my mental health. That got something to do with my mental health, with my emotions, my hormones, and stuff like that. So I was just reading that, women go through a lot of mental health especially if they try to care for other people and do for other people, because you're trying to help others and knowing sometimes you're not well yourself. And then some people living in poverty, that's enough to have you in depression. We like right now. I don't know if anybody in my chat homeless, but there are a lot of people out here homeless. And I don't know if it's by choice or because of how the world is today with the food prices. Some people don't have jobs. They're going through it. You know what I'm saying? But they said to live in poverty along with concern about personal safety and working mainly in home can lead to social isolation. Okay. To experience physical and sexual abuse, which can have a long-term impact on your mental health. And that's just what I was saying. That affected me long-term. I was 8, now I'm 56. When certain things does trigger me. I hate seeing a child or anybody being raped or being abused in that way, especially when they can't defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? When they can't defend themselves. Okay, let me see what you say. I was with my high school sweetheart until 5 years. We had one kid together. Okay. And 3 years later, I met my husband. We still together from 96 to the present. Okay. Y'all, you've been with your husband just as long as I've been with my husband. Cause I met him when I was 17. I had my first child when I was 20. We got married in 92. We've been together from 92 up until now. We've been together about 35 years. About 36, because my daughter just turned 36. And I had to tell my husband what I was going through, because he would often wonder what was wrong sometime and why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Because I know he wasn't that type of person. So I had to tell him what I went through as a child, and he just said, good thing he went around. He probably would have hurt that man, and he was very supportive. That didn't turn him off or anything like that. He was very supportive, and he was just saying that was very sick of him, to mess with a child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I thank God for my mom, my dad at the time, my grandmother, family members. And even though I had to go to a hospital and everything, I had to have some type of counseling. because I was in the 3rd grade. And it felt like, I don't know, maybe it was just me thinking, like when I got back to go to school, like everybody was looking at me. I was like, why people looking at me? Like everybody that knew about it, right? So we was living in a small town. And when I got back to school, I cried because people were staring at me. It made me feel like I had did something wrong until as I got older, it wasn't nothing I did. It wasn't nothing I did. That's something stays with you. It really does. So people that go through abuse and sexual abuse, that's a long-term effect. It's a long-term effect. And then you try to move on with your life. You try to be happy. But it always, like I said, I do get triggered on certain things, like especially if I see a child get mistreated or in that type of way, or I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm just reading some things. So right here, y'all know when that COVID, the COVID was going on, right? A lot of people probably went through depression. A lot of people probably had anxiety when that COVID was going on, because we was dealing with a killer virus. My well said it was a killer virus, called a lot of people did die from it. A lot of my family members died from COVID. And I was on YouTube at the time. Everybody was like, they don't want you talking about that. They're going to take your channel if you talk about the C word. I'm just going to say the C word. And they were saying a lot of people went through depression and anxiety because a lot of them couldn't go to work. A lot of them, businesses got closed because, when they told all us we couldn't go nowhere, people were hurting. They was hurting financially. You see what I'm saying? They was really hurting out there. Kids were running around. They weren't going to school. Everybody was just in one place. Thank you. All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thanks for sharing that with me. I see you still be doing your challenges. Keep up the good work. That's great. That is so great. See, you're protecting your mental health. When you be doing your exercise or your walking, your meditation, or whatever you do. I know walking does help with mental health. So that's good. That is real good. She said, yes, that was a tough time. Yeah, and a lot of people dealt with anxiety and depression. People was out of jobs, the business was closed, everybody was growing hair, everybody was growing fingernails because they couldn't go to the beauticians, they couldn't get the nail done. That's why a lot of them men got beards now. That's why a lot of those men have beards, because they wasn't going to the barbershop because they couldn't go nowhere. My husband, he cut his own hair. He just go bald. He cut his own hair. And they said we must acknowledge the impact of coronavirus pandemic on women's mental health. Women make up the majority of the frontline health and care workers. Yes, because like I said, a lot of those nurses was out there. My daughter had to go to work every day when that pandemic was going on. She couldn't stay at home because she was a nurse. And I was like, girl, you got to work right out on people. She said, oh, Mom. They had them covered up. They had a shield over their face. She was looking like an astronaut coming in the house. I said, Lord. But she was out there helping people because people were sick. They were sick during that time. So this right here just how the pandemic had an impact on mental health. They said more likely to do unpaid work or overrepresented in a low paid and unsecured work, and are most likely to have pre-existing difficulties with debt and bills. They are also more likely to shoulder a higher proportion of care and responsibility. Yes. Like I was saying, women, we have a lot. When the kids get sick, who do the most of the work? Be honest. Hey Joshua, when your child gets sick, do your husband stay out work or do your girlfriend stay out work? Who be there with those kids? Mama. Hey Joshua, how you doing? Joshua, when you be sick, who take care of you? When you was little, I know you probably had your dad there too, but who was mostly there when you would have a fever or cold or going through any type of sickness? Who was there? Who was there? If you had chicken pox or the measles or any little thing, mama, mama was there. So women do have a lot. Like I said, we have so many positions. Some of us do that. Some couples have their own accounts, and then some have bank accounts together. But the women mostly be the one trying to make sure they keep up with their bills, make sure the money is going where it's supposed to go, and make sure we budgeting and things like that. All of the women in these positions are at greater risk of developing mental health problem because the pandemic, and it would be at an increased risk as economic ramifications of pandemic realize. It is also the case that women are most likely to be affected by domestic violence and abuse. The risk of incident of which increased during the lockdown. They said it was a lot of domestic violence going on during the pandemic. I guess a lot of them was angry because they wasn't working. They want to take it out on their mate. I mean, it wasn't their fault. Nobody could go nowhere unless in your job. There were some people still working, but when they first got down with that pandemic, could nobody go nowhere. I remember they took them kids out of school. Them journals drove me crazy. I was so glad when them kids went back to school. And then they said about Trump trying to get it where they do virtual. But these are just some of the things that they would say women are most likely to have mental health. And we're not talking about mental illness. We're talking about mental health when it comes down to the physical health of them. Because sometimes you could be overwhelmed with the house duties. There are some women out there single and they doing it all. They're with their kids, they're doing the jobs, they're doing the yard work, they're doing it everything. They're doing everything in their household what they're supposed to do. But if a man was there, it'll be better for them. But a lot of women do it all. I saw Six Bowl. I don't know what she had, but I saw Six Bowl over there fixing her toilet. Then I saw a video where she said she was working on her roof. Shout out to Six Bowls. I mean, we do a lot. We do a lot. So these are just some of the things that I was just talking about today about the mental health part when it comes down to women. We as women, we do have a heavy load. We do have a heavy load. I know, girl. Them bill kept on coming, Delta. Them bill kept on coming. That when they was giving those stimulus check, right? They gave us a couple of little stimulus or government check. They came in. They gave us a few government checks. Look, I done got froze. Hold on. I think I done froze or something. think I had froze, but like I was saying, we went. It was a lot during the pandemic, and that was enough to have your mental health messed up. I mean, shoot, they had to give the government had to give out something. People would get behind on their bills. They would get what they couldn't buy no grocery. Cause children were out of school. They were eating a house out of home. They were getting no emergency food stamps. How many of y'all remember that? I don't know shit. They need to give us some now. Come on, Trump. Come on and give us some, Trump. But my hands so. But yeah, back then it was rough, y'all. So I was just reading some things about how the impact of your mental health was, how it impacted our mental health during the pandemic. So yeah. And this right here for educational, entertainment purposes only. Let's see what I got in here. Let's see. These right here are the common mental health symptoms. Like I said, they saying women have the most impact when it comes down to mental health. Okay, right here it said the common mental health symptoms in women. You can read along. If you're watching in the bushes or if you coming in, we're talking about Women Health Month, and we're talking about how mental health is very important. Our mental health does matter. So right here is the common mental health symptoms in women. If any of these symptoms appear, talk with a healthcare provider and a treatment options. Anything that I read today, it is not diagnosing anyone. These are just symptoms. These are tips for education. This is commentary. But if you feel like you're going through any of these things, there are numbers that you can call. Reach out to your doctor. Reach out to those support centers. There are places that can help people that is going through depression. If you need to talk to someone, because I have went to my therapist when I was going through my cancer diagnosis. I had to talk to a therapist about some of the things that I was dealing with financially and mentally. So right here, I'm reading about, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you to the ones that did stop by. If any of these symptoms appear, talk to a healthcare provider. Number one, feeling sad or hopeless often. That's why I was saying, when you feeling sad or hopeless, if you feel like you feeling like you just can't make it, or you just can't feel like you want to give up, you feel sad, reach out to somebody. A lot of people say they can't talk to their relatives, or maybe if you can talk to a therapist or a doctor, but please reach out to someone, a friend or somebody like that willing to listen. Mood, energy, or appetite change. You start feeling like you get a bad mood, you don't have no energy. These are symptoms of mental health. Feeling sad or hopeless often, mood, energy, appetite changes, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, low energy or tiredness, worrying too much or feeling fearful. Like I said, I know my anxiety had to come from what I went through as a child, and as I got into adult, it stayed with me. And that's why sometimes I do be in fear. When I'm in fear, I start having anxiety. But I have gotten better. But I hate to get overwhelmed, or I hate to be in fear. I saw a snake. I don't like crawling things. I went into an attack when I saw a snake. And they kept telling me to calm down. They were saying, calm down. Hey, Sirius, how you doing? You know, I'm still at it, girl. I'm still over here putting out some wellness. Today we're talking about mental health. Our mental health does matter. And I was just sharing some things about the symptoms of mental health. And I was talking about what I went through as a child. If you didn't went through some type of traumatization as a child, it stays with you until adulthood. And when I was raped, I get triggers still as grown, I still get triggers. I still be trying to figure out, was it something I did? Did I do? I was feeling wasn't my innocence. And that has been a long-term effect on me. And I'm 56 years old. I get triggered, especially when I feel like someone is trying to mess with my grandkids. Ooh, I get real triggered. I be like, y'all ain't going nowhere. Y'all ain't staying with nobody. Because that's what happened to me. I spent the night with my cousin, and I didn't let my kids stay with people like that. I didn't believe in letting my children go stay off with people unless I'm there with them. Yeah, congrats, Miss Key. What you got? She said, congratulate you on your newest milestone. I ain't seen what you got lately. But yes, that's what we're talking about today, Sears. Congrats, Miss Key. Night boxed and put me down, y'all. So I might have to go back and reprogram. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm just reading off some mental health symptoms. Siri, do you think your mental health matter? See, a lot of people get mental health and mental illness mixed up. They're totally two different things, but we all have mental health, and we should always want to protect our mental health. Mental health is dealing with our emotions, our way of living, things like this. Like they said right here, when you start feeling like you have low energy, tiredness, worrying too much, feeling fearful, angry, irritability, headaches, body aches, stomach problems, using alcohol or other drugs to cope, distancing from friends or family members. If you start having these, if you start like all of a sudden you don't want to be around nobody, you feeling hopeless, you feel like you don't need to be around nobody, or if you feel like you want to give up, you know what I'm saying? And if anybody going through any of these things, there are numbers you can call. You can get help. You can get help. You really can. Because when I went through what I went through with the cancer situation, I ended up in a deep depression. I had to end up talking to a therapist. And my therapist, he listened. Because it's just like everything was coming down on me. I had got sick. I had lost my job. And I'm like, Lord, how is we going? I kept on saying, how we going to make it, Lord? We got a house. We got vehicles. My husband was the only one working. Thank God for him standing here with me through it all until God opened doors where I was able to start by getting income. I tell anybody, when you try to have something and then where you can't, it hurts. It hurt mentally. Not only financially, it hurts you mentally. But if you're going through something, you can't, that's not nothing you can do about it. You just only have to try to get well, do the best you can. I chose my health over a job. I knew I couldn't work no more. I knew what my diagnosis was. I tried. I tried to go back to work, and I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't for me. So they told me they refused to give me unemployment. I struggled. Me and my husband, we struggled about a whole year. And I'm not ashamed to tell people it messed with me bad. It messed with my mental health bad. And I was getting deeper and deeper in depression. And I started praying more. I started asking God to, and still ask him today to give me strength. Help us, Lord. Let us see our way out of this. Let us be able to get financial blessed where I'll be able to go to the doctor and get my medication. I was having so much pain at one particular time before I was able to get any type of insurance. I couldn't even afford it. They had me on these shots. I've been taking shots every 14 days. Without the copay, that medicine was going to be $4,000. With that copay, they said my medicine was $4,000. I couldn't get that when I wasn't working. So I kept on, and a lot of doctors work with it, a lot of them don't. And I was used to be in so much pain, y'all. I used to be in a lot of pain until I got where I was able to get some type of Medicaid, some type of income coming in. You said going to a therapist is a great way to help your introspect and challenging your thoughts. God see you through. You activated your faith. That's right. That's exactly what happened. Because I was once like some of these symptoms right here. I was feeling sad. I felt hopeless at times. It felt like I didn't have no energy. I would worry. I would be fearful. I'd have been through some of all of this. I really have. But I thank God today I have came a mighty long way. I still have my struggles in some areas, but I can say God has been good to me and he has brought me a mighty long way. And I can speak on depression. I can speak on anxiety. I'm right now today, I'm taking medication for anxiety. That's why I try not to let stuff worry me. I try not to let stuff worry me. I get agitated. Me keep me knowing when somebody came in my chat and got on my nerves because she said, "Oh Lord, Georgia girl get agitated." So that's where my moderators or somebody come in because I don't like to be agitated. I mean, you don't want to be over here, go just leave me alone. Just go about your business because I ain't got to explain nothing to you, and you don't have to explain anything to me. If this is where you want to hang out, please do. But please be respectful. Mickey will tell you in a minute. She'll come up. Either she feel like I'm getting over a whim because she have been with me longer and she know how I be. Sometimes she'll come up there on the panel and say, "Georgia girl, I got this." Especially if a person come in and I feel like they trying to make me feel bad about something, or like I said, I done came a long way when it come down to people. Now, when I was younger, I used to let stuff get to me. When I was younger, I did. I used to cry. I used to be like, I felt like people were picking at me all the time, or they would do things to hurt my feelings. And, when you're a child, you have to learn all this as you get older. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some cruel people out here in this world, and they do try to pick at other children. I say that's bullying. I can't stand that. Because I know when I was a child, children used to try to pick at me. And I was too sensitive to realize they just being bullies. They just trying to get up under my skin. You know what I'm saying? But I have got strong over the years. I have got real strong over the years. I don't play about my mental health. I don't play by that. Because it matters a lot to me. It matters a lot to me. So if you're feeling any type of these symptoms, irritable, anger, heart, headaches, body aches, stomach aches, any type of thing that is you feel like wearing you down, and you feel like you got a burden that you just need to get that burden off of you, if you just need to talk to somebody, if anybody in my chat going through any of these things, you can talk to me because I done been there. I done been through it. It ain't an easy path living with anxiety and depression and panics. That's not a good feeling. I don't like to get upset. I don't like to get upset. My kids don't even like to tell me nothing upsetting because they don't want to see me being the way I used to be. I mean, anytime something happen, they'll be like, we can't tell mama right now. I used to hear them talking. So we ain't gonna tell mama not right now. We're gonna tell her later on. Because they know how I get. But I don't hardly get like that now because I know I done prayed and I know God has delivered me from some of those things. But I still have some struggles with it. Especially when if it's something affecting my family. I love my family. I love them so much. And I don't want to see nobody hurting them. I know I got grown kids and stuff like that, but those are my children. And those are my grandkids. So if anybody going through any of these things, reach out to someone. It's a 1-800 number where you can talk to someone about what you're going through. You don't have to go through this alone. And if you want to come up here and share and talk to me, I will listen. I will not judge you. Because people are going through this, y'all. People are dealing with mental health and mental illness. They're going through depression. Some people don't even have a job. Some people don't even have a place to live. They going through it. They really are. And right here, they said women health issues. This is what I've been talking about today. Okay, let's see. And I also have some mental health shirts in my shop. If anybody want to check those out. They said women health issues, life events, and emotional changes can affect women mental health. Prenatal depression. Having a baby is life-changing event. That's true. For some women, it can trigger postnatal depression. A lot of people go through that right after they have babies. It's called postnatal depression after birth. It is an intentional depression during pregnancy. The term prenatal depression covers both. A lot of people, when they have kids, they go through this type of depression. It ain't about the child. It's just that something that women go through right after they have a baby. I don't know what impact it does, but some women does go through postnatal depression. Prenatal depression isn't a sign of weakness. Because you go through that don't mean you weak. It doesn't mean you're a bad parent. There is help available, talking therapy, medication, or specialist service depending on your symptoms and what's right for you. So if you're going through this after you had a baby, because a lot of people do. My daughter, she went through it. Because I was laughing at her one time. I was like, "Girl, is you having no postnatal depression?" Because the way she was acting, I don't know. And I used to see them Lifetime movies, and some people probably do that now. I was watching those Lifetime movies, how those ladies be after they been had a baby. They take it out on the kids. Those children didn't ask to be in this world. So if you're going through postnatal depression, get some help. Don't take it out on the babies. They ain't asked to be here. And like I said, anybody that's going through any type of depression, anxiety, or anything, talk to somebody. Therapy does help. Because I went to my therapist for a while. I used to cry all the time. It's just like when I cried, it was like my way. It would make me feel better. It would make me feel better once I cried a few tears. Sometimes it helps you to cry. Sometimes it helps you to cry. So these are some of the things that I was sharing today. Let me see. Is there something else I overlooked? Let me see what is it right here. was trying to see what else in here. Okay, I already read those symptoms. Oh yeah, I read about that. Let's see what this is. Just always remember, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. There are people out there are actually dealing with postpartum depression, PSTD, and different types of illnesses. But that don't make them not human. They got feelings. So these, like I said, those are some of the things that when you deal with anxiety and depression and stuff like that. But I have came a long way with mine, but I was diagnosed with it a few years ago. Right here they said to experience physical and sexual abuse, which can have a long-term impact. And that's what I was saying, a long-term impact on your mental health. Contact refugee if you're experiencing domestic violence. So there's places where you can call if you're going through any type of domestic violence. Reach out to someone. You don't have to take it. You don't have to sit there and take it. But everybody have their reason why they stay with people. But if you can get some help, get some help. To experience sexual violence, which can cause PTSD. Yes. See, there are things you can be so traumatized. Like I said, I thank God. God was in my life, my parents, people there when I went through what I went through when I got raped and stuff. I'm glad that I had a good support system. Having a good support system is good. You have somebody there to help you through it all. I had a lot of support when I was going through that as a child. It really do makes a difference. It really do. Read this right here, and I'm gonna wrap this up. But like my hand right now, my hand is so. I got stung by a wasp today, and it was stinging for a little while. I've been putting ice on it all evening. Now my hand feel like I can't make a fist. It feel real tight right now. I said if it don't get any better, I was gonna go to the doctor tomorrow. Okay, this is what I was wanting to read right here. Oh yeah, they said to experience physical and sexual abuse, which can have long-term impact on the mental health. Contact refugee if you experience domestic violence. To experience sexual violence, which can cause PTSD. When women find it hard to talk about difficult feelings, they tend to internalize them. This can lead to depression, eating disorder, and self-harm. Men are most likely to act out their feelings through disrupted or antisocial behavior. See, women and men, they act different when it comes down to certain things. On the other hand, some factors protect women's mental health. They tend to have better social networks than men, find it easier to confide in their friends, and more likely to have been treated for a mental health problem. Okay? Some men, you can't probably ain't gonna get them to talk to too many people. Some men's probably talk to therapists, but a lot of them don't. They just like shake it off or whatever. But men go through mental health and depression and anxiety too. This is my last part I'm gonna talk about right here. And then I'm gonna go on and sign on off. But I hope that people that did tune in, I hope that this segment was helpful to someone. that is going through some form of depression, anxiety, or any type of mental health going on. Like I said, we all deal with mental health because it's physical health, emotional health, it's all of it. So no one is labeled to say they don't have mental health because we all do have mental health. But like I said, mental health and mental illness is different. Mental health is something we deal with daily. Mental illness is something that you just continue to have and feeling like you're hopeless, don't want to live anymore, don't want to talk to no one. You just make yourself feel like you're worthless. Is anybody that's going through any of this, you are worthy. Never let another person get that much power over you because they will. If they feel like they have that much power over you, they will continue to. And these flowers are for the ones came in today. Shout out to my members. Shout out to those Georgia troopers. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. This is the last part I will be going over right here. It seemed like I'm driven to do this type of commentary because I feel like I might not see people in my chat, but I guarantee somebody listening to me. Somebody's out there listening. Because there's somebody going through some things like this. But don't feel shame. Don't feel shame. Because all of us go through mental health. All of us. We got to protect our mental health. Because some people will try to take advantage of you if they feel like they can have that upper hand or that power over you. You don't have to let no one take that power from you. Be brave, be strong. But I'm going to read this last little part, then I'm finna go off. I want to thank the 6 people that did give me a thumbs up. Appreciate those one that tuned in the chat. Thank you. I know a lot of people probably talking about the P. Diddy case. That's a lot. Whew. I thought the R. Kelly case was a lot. This right here just, oh, Jesus. Like I said, I don't know what P. Diddy did, but this woman has sat up there and said a whole lot of stuff about him. And it seemed, I mean, a lot of people saying she was a willing participant and stuff like that. She probably was, but this lady gonna have some long-term effects. She gonna have some long-term effects. And some people are stronger than others. She had a reason to stay with him. So right here we said everyday tips to support mental health, but no one deserves to get treated like that. It doesn't matter if you with them or you was with them. No one deserves to get beaten bad like that and go through all that kind of stuff. But you got to be strong. Got to be a strong person to walk away from that type of stuff. So I'm going to read y'all the tips for mental health. Like I said, everything that I have read or shared today, it is for educational, entertainment purposes only. I'm not here to diagnose anyone. I'm not here to tell anyone about what they should do when it comes out of mental health. You should already know to protect your mental health. These are some symptoms to help you in that way. I'm going to get on off here and put some ice on my hand. Because that little thing stung me today. I was trying to keep it from going in my face. I had got stung by a bee on my lip before. And I was trying to block that thing from coming to my face. I think my glasses saved me. I told my husband this a thing out there. You got to get some spray or something, knock all them things down. Cause my hand is sore. Still a little bit swollen. I'm gonna keep putting some ice on it. But I'm gonna read this last segment right here. They say everyday tips to support mental health. Get regular exercise, 30 minutes in most days. Eat healthful food and drink plenty of water. Limit caffeine and alcohol. Keep a regular sleep schedule. Try a calming activity such as meditation or deep breathing. Spend time with loved ones and stay connected socially. Okay. There's one more here. Trying to see what that last one is. I can't see that one. And set realistic goals to avoid feeling. That's what they say. Well, I have read to y'all. Hey, Kenneth, how are you doing? Good to see you. I was talking about women and mental health, and I was just sharing some tips and different things. How your day been going? Your day been going pretty good? But these were just the tips I was sharing about mental health. Get regular exercise, aim for 30 minutes most days, eat healthy food, drink plenty of water, limit caffeine, alcohol, keep a regular sleep schedule, try a common activity such as meditation, deep breathing. I have to practice breathing a lot. Okay. Good to see you. Spend time with loved ones and stay connected socially. So these are some of the things I have talked about today. I hope they be helpful to someone. Maybe you can see it on the replay. But yeah, I'm doing okay, Kenneth. I got stung by a wasp today. Woo, I was trying to keep it from stinging me in my face. So it stung my hand. Trying to get up on this camera. The wasp stung my hand, right? So my hand a little swollen. A wasp stung me when I was going out the door, and I've been putting ice on. I've been trying to keep ice on it. Yeah, but I had told my husband if it don't go down, I'm gonna probably go to the doctor tomorrow. It just got my hand real sore. You know, this time of year we're gonna see all types of stuff: bumblebees, warps, mosquitoes. And I saw the warp when I was going out the door, and I was trying to cover up my face. Because one time I got stung by a bumblebee. Have anybody ever been stung by a wasp or a bumblebee? That thing hurt too. So I'm gonna be putting ice on it the rest of the night, keeping it from being. It's still sore though. Yeah, it was. And I don't know. I told my I said it might still have the stain in now. I got a little black dot right now, but I don't know. I know it's swollen. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's swollen right up in there. That's what it wart walks stung me. And like when I try to bend my hand, it hurt a little bit. But yeah, that's what I was talking about today, y'all. Women's health. We're in the middle of May. I think we got 2 more weeks to go in this month. And I'll just be sharing different information about women's health. Next month is men health month. So I'll be sharing some information concerning our guys. But like I said, this is for educational, entertainment purposes only. What you were saying, Ken? Have you ever been stung by a bee before or wasps? My day was great. I'm sorry. Yeah, my hand's sore. And I'm gonna go and put some ice on it. Go and finish put some ice on it. I said, "Ooh, that little thing stings." So I got a towel. It's so red up in there. But I put my hand up because I didn't want it to hit me in my face. I didn't want it to you know, because I had got stung by a bumblebee before and it had my lips swollen. Ooh, I had an allergic reaction from it, I had to go right to the doctor because he had got me all swelled up. But I'm gonna see how it be in the morning. I'm gonna watch it throughout the night. It's just a little swollen up there on top of my hand, but I think it probably go down after I put some more ice on it. Yep. You can tell it's summertime. You ain't gonna be able to sit outside like you wanna now. After a while, you're gonna be getting the mosquitoes gonna be out. You can see all them little bumblebees and see some butterflies and the night bugs. You can see them all. But I don't want to be around no more wasps. And I think it's a nest over our porch. And I was telling my husband, you gotta get that thing down there. Shoot, got to get it down. But that's what I was talking about today, Ken. But I'm gonna get on off here if I can put some more ice on my hand because it's still kind of aching a little bit. It feel like I can't even, how you try to move your hand, it's sore right up in there. How's that little rascal stung me? But yeah, but y'all just remember if you're going through any type of, if you're feeling like you're lonely, you need to talk to someone. If you feel like through any type of depression, anxiety, or you just feel like you feel helpless, reach out to someone. If you feel like you want to hurt yourself, please reach out to someone because you have more to live for. You have a lot to live for. Just always remember you do have a lot to live for. But I always want to make sure people know the difference between mental health and I was stung by a bee once. Oh, you did? Ooh. Yeah. I've been stung by a bee before too. But it was on my face. That's why when I was going out the door today, I thought I throwed my hand up like this kid. I throwed my hand up like that. I can't get my face rolled up. My hands sort of. I'm gonna see how it be in the morning, see what it look like, and go from there. I got some I can take and we'll finish putting the ice on it. Mm-hmm. What you had for dinner today, Ken? What you had for dinner today? I got some baked chicken in there. Yeah, I was just sharing some information about how you protect your mental health. Protecting your mental health involves a multifaceted approach that encompass lifestyle habits, self-care practices, and seeking professional support when needed. Absolutely. Okay, that sounds good. Here are some evidence-based strategies to safeguard your mental well-being. Get regular exercise. You still doing your exercises, Kenny? Get regular exercise. Physical activity releases which have mood boosting effects. Eat a healthy diet. Nourish your body with fruit, vegetables, and whole grain. Provide essential nutrients for mental health. Get enough sleep. There's some people supposed to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep. How many hours you think you sleep, Kenny? Do you sleep well at night? I sleep when I go to bed. I sleep a lot during the morning times. I go to bed. I thought if I been went on my channel, I'll do that. I probably eat, or I probably watch a couple channels and then I fall asleep. I rest. I get my rest. I make sure that. Oh, what that is? Oh, those are peppers, right? And they said manage your stress. Develop coping mechanics such as meditation, mindfulness, or yoga to reduce stress level. Things like that is good for stress. Yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. You can read affirmations. You can do a lot of things to help you mentally like that. And limit screen time. Excessive social media and internet use can contribute to anxiety and depression. Yeah, if you let it. Because we be seeing something, it be some, with the news and some of the things that people post on social media, it can be depressing. It really can. It's just who you follow and what you want to listen to. Engage in hobbies. Pursue activities that bring you joy and provide a sense of accomplishment. Spend time with loved ones. I'm always doing some of those kids. I told my granddaughter we were gonna make I told we were gonna make a Kool-Aid pie. We ain't made now in a while. It's just Kool-Aid, Cool Whip, and with the brown crust. I like doing things with my grandkids. I like seeing them smile. I like spending time with my family. So that helps a lot. Take breaks. Allow yourself time for relaxation and rejuvenation, such as taking a bath, reading, or listening to music. Hey, Frank. Is that Frank? Hey, Frank. I was just finna go off. I was just talking about we have to try to protect our mental health. Seek therapy, set your boundaries. We have to set our boundaries, y'all. We have to set our boundaries out here, because if you don't, and that's on social media, in our real life, we have to have boundaries. We have to learn to say no. Learn to say no sometimes. Sometimes we can't help everybody. I have a habit of not wanting to tell people no sometimes. Sometimes I say, well, I'm gonna do it this time. Or y'all easy or quick to tell people no, or y'all don't know how to say no? Frank, Kenneth, are y'all good at telling people no? I have a habit of trying to tell people no sometimes. I be kind of trying to work things out and hopefully it'll be okay. Frank, I got stung by wasps today, Frank. Oh, my hand. So I was holding my hand up because I didn't want my face I didn't want it to stain my face. So I'm finna get on off of here because it's swole. I don't know if y'all can see it. Y'all see right there? Y'all see that that's where that wasp stung me at. And it got my hand swole. I told my husband if it don't go down overnight, I should have went on to the emergency room, but y'all see my hand? It's swole right there. Because I did like this because I saw the wasps when it was flying by the door, right? I saw it flying. I didn't want it to come to my face. Good thing I think my glasses save my eyes because I don't want to get stung. It's summertime, the bumblebees out there, the wasps out there. It got my whole hand aching right now. You said, no, I will. Oh, so you will tell a person no. You quick to tell a person no quick. No, I will tell a person, okay. Yeah, I am. My, y'all ever heard of tobacco juice help get the stain? You ever heard of that, Frank or Kenneth or anybody in the chat? Heard about what tobacco? My sister gave me some tobacco. I wasn't finna chew it. I got some tobacco and I put on top of it, but I'm finna go put some more ice on it because I was just finna get off. I was just talking about our mental health does matter. Yeah, it was a WAPS. You said, I gotta look on my phone for that writing on that computer. It got my whole hand so. Hold on. I had got stung on my lip one time. Oh my God. It stayed like that. It had my whole face swollen because I had an allergic reaction. When I got stung by a bee, I had an allergic reaction. I thought I was going to have one, but it basically just got my hand swollen. And I've been putting ice on it. I've been rubbing some cream on it. I'm trying to see what Kenneth had said. How your day been today, Frank? Been having a good day today? It's hard for you to say no, Kenneth. Sometimes I be like that too, Kenneth, but sometimes we have to, especially when some people will take advantage of you like that. When a person said, they'll say they think that you have something to give them all the time, but they never want to, give you, but every time I look around, they want you to give. And you be like, well, I think I'm going to go and give it to them this time. You could tell people no. I know I have a habit of not doing it because I try to help people if I'm able to help them. You know what I'm saying? But some people will try to take advantage of you like that. You have to be careful with people like that. Oh, it was good. You ever been stung by a bee or a wart? Oh, Frank said, I stopped being a yes man to serve. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I know what you mean. Because they will try to take advantage of you. I'm finna let my husband see my hand. He just coming in the house. Jay got up. Swole. I've been putting ice on it. But if it be like this in the morning, I'm going to the doctor. He got to spray some of that spray out there.
Put some ice on it. Put ice.
Give me some more ice.
Yeah, put some, I just hold some ice on it.
I had some.
You don't need to get stoned hard. That's what you take.
To buy all that medicine, I be all.
I'm supposed to throw the thing away at school. So I got it.
Oh, well, get me some. You see it. You read that stain? It ain't in there. You see that dot right there?
Hey, how you manage to let them thing on the hand?
Because I was going out the door and I was trying to keep it from hitting me in the eye. I ain't want to be stung in my face. Shoot. I put my husband said, I don't need to be getting stung. All the stuff I be going through. He's talking about I go through so much with this medication and stuff. Oh, Lord. I put my hand up there to protect my face. Because I don't want to get stung in the face. Shoot. I'll be walking around here like somebody hit me in my eye for real. You're going to have to spray some stuff out there. Give me some of that some ice in that thing, and put some on there. They used to put that tobacco spit on it, too. Kelly gave me some. I wasn't going to chew that stuff up. My grandma used to put snuff spit on it. Frank, y'all ever heard of that? People put, I got stung on the lip one time. You remember that time I got stung with that bumblebee? And
I had my eyes closed.
And I had to go to the doctor because it had me swelled up.
I got stung by them black ones. Not Walsall. You know about them yellow and black ones?
What them mills out there on that porch?
No Walsall.
Well, you need to get rid of them things.
That thing wasn't enough.
But I felt it when it stung. I was, oh my God, this thing done stung me. But anyway, you guys, I was just talking about our mental health. Mental health is for everybody have mental health. Everybody go through mental health. Everybody. And we got to be able to protect our mental health. We got to know, in other words, don't go in something that you know is not good for you. That's not going to be good on your mind, your body, or your soul. Like some channels, I just don't even go to their channel because some of the stuff they be talking about, I don't want to enter in my mindset. You know, I let them do them. I do me. I support who support me. See what I'm saying? You know, when they get all this stuff, all that negative stuff, I don't want all that in my brain. I ain't trying to figure out. I can't help nobody else figure stuff out. I got enough stuff going on myself. Wow, you been through a lot. You heard my hubs about it. Getting big. Oh Lord, my husband said you don't need to be getting bit or death because you already go through a lot. No, my husband, he know I stay at the doctor, but it's just sore right up and down and then put some more ice on it. But anyway, you guys, I wasn't gonna be on long. You know, like I said, this is just part of my wellness. You know, a lot of people don't like to hear this kind of stuff. This boring to some people, you know. Now, if I was over here talking about people, children, or now if I was talking about P. Diddy, or I see that what the topic is right now, I might speak on because that's what it is, domestic violence. I was reading some of the stuff. How in the world this woman took all that? But I might speak on the domestic violence of it because I don't know what happened in his bedroom. But that's all I see on YouTube now. That what people is sharing and talking about. But I tell you, that's a lot. You can't let nobody have that much power, right? Man or woman, we can't let them do it. Yeah, I'll read it somewhere. Jesus. But they be saying the freaks come out at night. Ooh, loud. Oh, Jesus. They can have that. They can have that freaky stuff. That's I read. I was reading something today about what they were saying about him. I'm like, oh my God. But that's them. But anyway, I'm going to wind this on up. Like I said, we got to protect our mental health. Everyone go through some type of mental health. Because that's just our emotions. Those are our hormones. Those are things that we deal with daily. How people treat us. That affect our mental health also. If you know you're dealing with somebody that try to put you down or try to mistreat you or is not leading you no good, don't deal with them. Don't deal with them. The only thing they're going to do is try to mess you up, try to mess up your mental state. I'm not a follower. I'm not a follower. I never have been. I have my own mind. If it's something I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. If it's something I'm not going to do, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to jump off a bridge. How Frank said, George, girl, I'm going to go jump off that bridge. I'm going to say, bye, Frank. See you when you come back. You think I'm going to go behind you, Frank? I'll try to save you if I can. But you know how to swim. You know how to swim. I don't. So I'm not going to try to come after you. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying that for example. Do what you can do to make sure you good. You know what I'm saying? And people, you can help people to a certain extent that want to be helped. You know how you try to go out your way to help people and they still don't have time for you, or they'll move on and go somewhere else or do what they do them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to protect it. If it's something ain't good for me, I don't deal with it. You know, sometimes you can get caught off guard with stuff now. You can get caught off guard with stuff. You really can. But you know, but protect your mental state. If social media is what causing you to go into depression, stay off of social media. If social media causing you to have anxiety or causing you to want to try to hurt yourself, don't get on now. If anybody in your life is causing you harm or causing you to feel like you want to hurt yourself, leave them. If you, a lot of people say it ain't that easy to leave people when you didn't, like they saying like that woman with P. Diddy, and also to the R. Kelly case. How did, you know, we could easily say, how did they stay with these people all these years? I guess they had their reason to. Some stay with people because of financial reasons. Some be scared. They be in fear. You know, but when a person had that much power over you, that's bad. I'll read when they say she was with him 10 years. Yeah. You have choices. You do have choice. She was with him 10 years and he did all that stuff to her. Wow, she really wanted to get an album, huh? I probably talk about domestic violence maybe another day, but all right, y'all. What did y'all do today? What you do today, Frank? I know I saw your post, but you was talking about the basketball games. I see the Pacers put wow, they put the Cavaliers out. And they was number one all year, wasn't they, Frank? That's what they be saying when them people be playing just regular ball. Once they get in the playoff, it be a totally different thing, don't it? The Warriors got to, let me see. They play tonight. Okay. Wow. Step still hurt, though. He still hurt. I don't know what Boston done. Is they still in it? Boston still in it? Yeah, I got to put them in the dryer. There's some clothes in the wash machine. The back side of my hand hurt. I can't even hardly use it. But all right, y'all continue to have a good night. Y'all continue to stay blessed, stay encouraged, and always stay what? Prayed up. Thank y'all for stopping by. And I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna go and put some more ice on my hand. I don't know if that stain is still in there, but it just got a little spot right there. Just sore. But I think I put the ice on it to help get the swelling down. So y'all be careful out there too, all them bumblebees and warps. Ooh, they out there in the air. It's summertime. I see a little all of it. Elimination night, either Boston or Warriors. Oh, for real? I ain't been following it. Wow. I know they said Steph Curry had got hurt. I know they said that. All right, you guys. I'll chat with y'all on the next go round. Bye-bye. Good night.